Oh, I'm live. How about that? I'm late. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming. Welcome, world. I was going to say this morning, hello, world. And then my weird mind went to, you ever done any computer programming and you're doing a website, and I think the first blank page says hello, world. And that's where my head is today. I'm a little bit backwards and retro and stuff. Anywho, welcome. Like we always do, it's a beautiful sunny day on the Gold Coast, given that we've had nothing but rain. Yesterday was torrential again, but today's sunny. So guess what? It's humid, and that's pretty cool because it's the Gold Coast, and that's nice. So here we are at this point, ready to roll. Let's move on. If you don't want to be listening to this, and that's fine. I may say words that you may be offended by, and don't give rats ass. So move on. Otherwise, stay and enjoy. If you do stay and enjoy, like, subscribe, and thumbs, all that stuff, notifications, because I believe they tell me that it's good for the algorithms, and I don't understand what that means, but just do it anyway. Like it, subscribe, and notifications, all on, because I post so often. On that, I apologise for my irregular posting and doing lives. We are still in the throes of moving, and it's awkward and uncomfortable and inconsistent with weather and stuff. So when the weather does shine, I'm out there. And if it's on a Saturday, again, I apologise that I'm not doing a live. But hey, I've got to do this work. I've got to get this house done. We are moving to a little town, I think I've told you before, called Maryborough, which is really, really nice. And maybe if I'm lucky, we're going there this afternoon. But if I'm lucky, maybe a week after 2 weeks, maybe I might do a live from there on a Saturday morning, just to see what it's like streaming. Now, during the week or during sometime last weekend, I tried Rumble Studio, and it streams to YouTube and it streams to Rumble, of course. And it what it does do for me, though, it has a Rumble Studio icon in this top corner up here. And I love Rumble, but I don't want to put Rumble Studio on it. And when I go to YouTube, it doesn't allow me to put my own thumbnail on. So I'm staying to stay with StreamYard for a bit until I can work out those things. So thank you very much for all of that. Anyway, so today, I'll let you know, I had a little experience during the week. I'll just give you a brief story, well, as brief as I can do, so it's probably going to be an hour long. But anywho, I've got a Samsung Galaxy phone. I was going to show you, but yeah, you've all seen Samsung Galaxies. It's a Note 20. So I've had it for 3.5, coming up to 4 years. And it's been a fantastic phone. Like, I do all the right things they tell me to do. I've upgraded it when the software needs to be updated, and everything's been fine. We're into January this year. I got a new credit card that's been on my Samsung Pay or Samsung Pass wallet, whatever the app is called, and it's always worked a sweet treat. I've always updated it when I've needed to, and I've never had a problem. But this time I had a problem, right? I uploaded it. It worked sometimes didn't, connected to the credit card facility, the company, the bank, and no worries. So it wasn't working. So I removed the credit card from my Samsung wallet, Samsung Pass or Pay, whatever it's called, and went to reinstall it. Right? So I went and reinstalled it, did the manual installation, put the number in and blah, blah, the CVC. And it actually went and registered the company that it was and said, agree to these terms. I go, roger that. And I went, agree. And then it couldn't connect to the server and contact this number. I thought, maybe it's just an issue. Maybe it's my VPN. So I did all that stuff and I got rid of all of those issues and did it again. I did it the automatic way this time, using the scanner code. Hopefully that'd work. Came up with, can I connect to server? So 3 times I tried it, all the things that I thought would be the way to do it, restarted the phone, blah, blah. On the 3rd time, I took the telephone number that was there and I rang it. And it took me to Samsung. And this is where the rabbit on today is going to be about. I listened to the options in the Samsung phone menus and didn't understand which one I needed to go to. None of them suited my purpose. So I re-rang and said, bugger it, I'm going to press the first one. I pressed the first button, got into, I don't know the name, so I'm just going to call her, Aisha, because I don't know the name. Somewhere out of the country, and try to resolve my problem. Told her what happened, And she said, oh, yes, I can understand that, and we'll try and do this and do that. And came back about 15 minutes later and said, oh, it's not a Samsung problem. It's the bank's problem. They're not allowing you to connect your card through a third-party software. And I go, well, that sort of makes sense. But I did say to her that I've done it in the past, same Samsung Pass wallet pay to the same bank, never had a problem. But I'm having a problem now. And they go, oh, sorry, sir, it's definitely the bank. Now, I'm going to say this out in a disclaimer of, don't give a shit. I didn't understand half of what she was saying. Now, I know you've all had a similar experience with an offshore help desk or offshore call center or whatever it might be. Even though they can understand English relatively well, and I'll get to this in a second, I couldn't understand a lot she was saying. I found myself, and I know you do it, I know you do, you go, you're on the phone, earbuds, and you go, what? Like, what? You lean into your phone, or you lean into your computer to try and understand them any better. Like, how stupid is that? But hey, I know you do it too. So, man, I know you do. So I found myself leaning forward into my phone to understand her, and I couldn't. So I said, okay, no worries. I'll ring my bank provider and find out what went there. So anyway, as the saga continues, I ring my bank and thank you, dog, guard, kill. I ring my bank and I say, problem, I'm ringing offshore again. I'm in Australia and I speak Australian or Australian. I don't speak English. I mean, I do speak English. I don't necessarily have an Australian, typical Australian accent, but I do say things that are uniquely Australian in the way I speak. And when I was speaking to this person, let's call him Abdul because I don't know who he was, and I know he was in Indonesia or Philippines. He didn't understand me to the point where I said to him, this is what I have done. I have taken the cards out of the paid wallet. I've tried to reconnect it manually and automatically, and it comes up with a server to your server in the bank that doesn't recognize the connection. And he goes, oh my God, or however he said it, right? I will go and find out. And he said, this is what I want you to do. He said, I want you to remove the credit cards from your Samsung Pay, and I want you to try and reconnect manually. I go, okay, I've done that. He said, oh, well then try and do it automatically. I said, I've done that. I told you that a second ago. He goes, oh, okay. I'll go and find out from someone. So off he trots. I'm sure he doesn't trot. I'm sure he turns to the person next door, puts me on hold, has a sip of his tea, and then he comes back and he says, oh, I found out what you need to do, sir. I go, okay. In an accent that I could just barely understand. And note again, I'm leaning into my phone to understand him. He says, first thing you need to do is to remove all of the credit cards from the Samsung Pay Pass wallet, and you need to redo it manually. I go, yeah, I've done that. You told me to do that before, and I've already told you I've done that. He said, well, do it automatically. I said, I've done that too. Right? And this went on 5 times, like 5 bloody times. And on the 5th time, I said to him, he said to me, I've just gone to speak to the supervisor, and here's the man that knows all the problems, and this is what you got to do. And repeat. It was delete them from there, reconnect, it doesn't work. So I said, look, you need to put me through to the supervisor because we're having a serious language problem. And being the person I am, I said to him, look, it's not that you're not doing your best. I think you're doing your best. You just don't understand me. And I clearly don't understand you. So I need to speak to someone with a better English-based skill, and I need them to understand me and the way I am speaking so that we can get this problem solved, like being the problem solver that I am, thanks to the de-escalation coach, Big G. And I was diplomatic. And then I got on to, that was Abdul Muhammad, or whoever, put me on to the supervisor, who only marginally spoke better English than I did. And he said, oh, yes, I've been reading through the notes, and this is what's happened. He said, I need you to, and believe it or not, I need you to remove the credit cards from your Samsung Pay Pass wallet, and you need to reinstall them manually. I go, man, I've done that. Now I'm starting to get on the rope. I'm on the edge of my chair. I'm no longer leaning in, I'm leaning back, ready for a big swing, you know. It's like I had to explain it to him in child language. And the language barrier in these help desks that are offshore is insane. It is this is the rant, right? These companies that run these banks and these financial institutions make billions of dollars of profit every year, like every year. They shut down our banks here, like physical banks, to go to a bank. You can't now go to a local bank. You've got to drive to a big community centre, line up with 25,000 other fucking people to go and do a simple thing with the bank. They're wanting you to go online. Right? So we do the right thing. We go online. We put the information into the chatbot who does it in the bank's AI, and it comes back with, ring the customer service person. Okay, so I ring customer service and I get fucking Abdul. No disrespect to those people who do a wonderful job, but fuck me, man. I don't understand a single word they're saying. I don't know where they're coming from. They don't understand me. We get nothing but frustrated. My blood pressure goes up. I go to the doctor who says, oh, you need to take 25 different medications. I see a conspiracy theory coming on in my brain. However, I had to say to this second supervisor who speaks wonderful English, not really, I don't understand you, and I'm sure you don't understand me with the inflections I put in, the nuances of my Australianese. You don't get my language. I need to speak to someone who understands me. And he said, no, sir, I really, really do understand you. Okay, fine. Type in your help desk information base, Samsung Pay pass wallet, cannot connect a server, error, enter. And it'll come up with, because I am not surely the first person that's had this problem. He goes, oh no, I've got to escalate it to the technical support people. I'm going, no, don't escalate it. I want you to go into your knowledge base, which you have because you're a help desk service, because I used to program and I used to write help desk program software. I know what you do. You register a new problem into the database puts into its knowledge base, the knowledge base allows you to search for it. I know that's how it works. Oh no, that's not how our system works, he tells me. So I'm going more. I tell you what, you escalate it. You create a help desk or a technical ticket. How long before I'm going to get this problem solved? He said, oh, sir, we'll do it within 4 business days. And I just cracked up. I said, you're fucking joking. 4 business days. This is a simple technical issue at your end. 4 business days. Man, I just lost my shit. I didn't, because I'm a diplomat. Thanks to the de-escalation coach. Check that link. I don't have a link. De-escalation coach on YouFace Twittok book, and you'll find it. Look at some of his stuff. He's very good. Anyway, getting back to the issue at hand. Help desks. Why? Why do we? Is it this bloody bell curve thing again? This Pareto distribution thing? I don't know how it works, but 80% of the people, which are most of us, deal with the bullshit at this end and the bullshit at that end. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Why don't we, as the 80%, go, no, not good enough? Why don't we do that? Why don't we refuse to pay? Why don't we do that? Are we just so complacent and so unwilling to do anything that's in our best interest? It's like, really? Like I said in the last live, you've got anorexically thin mate. I've got a morbidly obese mate. I tell them, come on, man, you're a bit thin. You better put on weight. And fat, you better lose some weight. I tell them, why don't the most of us do that? Why don't we complain to these help desks? Why don't we go to our banks and say, this is not good enough. I want it solved. I want it solved now. I don't want to wait. I was at the bank the other day closing a bank account. 5 bloody tellers in their little machines tapping away, 15 people waiting, and they're just tapping away, looking up, tapping away. People come in and out of the office, in and out, go to them, go back, in and out. 25 people in the back office, 5 out the front, 15 people waiting, and they go on this little thing, scan this and go to the help desk. Like, Jesus Christ, help me now. We've got to say something, guys. It's about time. No, we can't put up with this crap. We want to be a community-based. I want my bank man to know me. I want my banking manager to go and say, g'day, David, how you going? I'm going, good, Roger, Fred, Jane, Bill, Mary, whoever. I want to know them. I want it to be the way it was because that worked. I'm all for change. I'm all for change if change works. If change doesn't work, to save a couple of cents on the dollar, unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's a little bit like surcharges. I think I've mentioned that before, but I'll do it again. Everywhere's saying now we have to pay a surcharge, charge a surcharge on credit card transactions. And I'd go, why? Oh, because the bank's charging us. I go, well, you're offering a bank card facility to your customers to get them to come in and buy shit from you. Then you wear that cost. It's like 0.1%. It's nothing. And if you really don't want it, because I go into a place that says a surcharge, I'll walk out. Oh, fuck, I'm not paying a surcharge for a service that you're offering me. I'm not going to pay that. I pay my bank fees for my card. Okay, I'm paying fees for my card, and you want me to pay your fees for a service you're offering me to buy stuff from you. I tell you what, why don't you put all of the prices up on all of your products by 0.5%? All of them. I won't even notice that. And say, we won't charge a surcharge. I'm going to go, shit, man, I'll shop with you in a heartbeat. Because you're not ripping me off. Like 0.5% on all products. Sometimes I pay cash, I pay 0.5%. I don't care. But when you tell me I've got to pay a surcharge for a card, for a service you provide me, I'm out of it. It's absolutely ludicrous. Money mongering, just horrible, greedy people. Anyway, send me around over on that. Anywho, so we've got to stand up for ourselves. We've got to say no, and we've got to say no, and we've got to bloody mean no. I'm not going to go to get my blood pressure up to these people so that I have to go to a doctor because my blood pressure's up, my face is red, I'm turning, my eyeballs are bulging, I'm getting veins down my head, and I've then been told I have high blood pressure, my cholesterol's over the top, etc., take these 10 medications, because if I don't prescribe you 10 medications, I'll get fined. Anyway, I'm continuing my rant. I've got one more. The entertainment industry. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with diversity. But come on, guys. When was the last time you saw a hero in a new show that was not a woman? I know there's 51% women in the world and only 49% males, so men were in the minority. Like we didn't know that. I can't relate to a female hero. I think they're fine. They're fun. It's a bit fantasy. And I mean that like literally. I love my wife to death, but I wouldn't take her into a burning building with me if we were the same, if we were working in a fire station. She can't carry me. She can't. If I was overcome by smoke, my wife would not, even she loves me, actually maybe she'll leave me there. I digress. If she was a co-worker of the same strength and height and of my wife, and diversity says we've got to have women in the team, I wouldn't choose to work with her and go into a burning building, because if I collapsed, there's no way she would be able to carry me out. Like, no way. It'd be one of those cartoons where she's dragging me feet first down the 2 flights of ladders and my head's banging on every ladder rung on the way down. It's just she couldn't carry me out. I wouldn't take her into war with me for exactly the same reason. If I got shot, she wouldn't be strong enough to take me out or take me back to the base. So I would die or be captured, tortured, beheaded, whatever it might be, because my partner in the field isn't strong enough literally to carry me out. So now go back to the entertainment industry. I'm seeing women, sexy women, thin like my wife, beautiful, and they're kicking the asses of men who are 300-pound hops, muscular men, get kicked in the face, and the woman goes, yeah, the man gets knocked down. She does a stepping side kick and he flies back into a wall. I'm calling bullshit right there, because I'm a martial artist. I've trained with fantastically skilled and talented women who have looked like these stars, who are lightweight, got beautiful technique, and they kick me and I go, what are you doing? It's like nothing behind it. You've got no power behind it. And people will say it's not power, it's technique. And I'll go, yeah, look, yes, it is to a degree. But a woman can do a spinning heel kick with fantastic technique, like the almost quality technique that you'd want to take photos of and put in magazines and things, and whip me in the side of the head. And that's all it'll do, because there's no weight and strength behind it. So where it may be okay in golf, where you can have beautiful technique, because there's no power in golf. It is all technique. Table tennis is all technique. Tennis, not so the same, because a woman can play tennis with beautiful form and beautiful technique, and a man with more power is going to beat her if he's got half her skill. So there's a lot of things where it doesn't work. And in fighting hero type things, like, it doesn't work. If I'm watching a fantasy style show where there's a little bit of magic behind it, yeah, a little bit of poetic license. I don't mind a female hero in that because it's fantasy. We know it's not real. When we see a modern-based show and it's based on what would be reality, you can't do it. It's just not real. It just makes the whole thing fanciful. This leads into what, that's not really what the rant is. The rant is really about the language, not language as in swearing language, but the way they use things in entertainment. Now, they say they're diverse by putting people of different languages and different things into an English show. I come from Australia, like I said before. The people in America will go to America. The people from Holland will watch shows made in Holland, which would be Dutch, and they're pretty much all Dutch speaking. And if they're not all Dutch speaking, you go, well, why the hell aren't they speaking Dutch? Like, I watch a show that's Australian or American, and I'm watching this show, and I'm sort of half watching, half listening, because I'm doing other things while I'm watching. It's there for background noise and a lot of the time. And I'm finding that I can't listen to a lot of the shows because they'll have people speaking Chinese in an English-made show. They'll have people speaking Arabic. So I've got to stop what I'm doing and I've got to read television to understand that these people who are speaking in an Australian-made show or an English, American-made or even English-made show, and they're speaking Arabic. Like, I get that the character is Arabic or the character is Chinese or Indonesian, but they don't have to speak the language, Indonesian, Arabic, Chinese, whatever. They're making a show for an Australian or American or English Western audience, have them speak English through the whole show. Like, I can tell that that's a Chinese person. Yep, I can see that that's Chinese. It doesn't have to speak Chinese for me to tell that it's Chinese. I don't have to read television. And let's bring diversity into this. What if I was blind? What if I was an Australian-born person who became blind, and I'm now listening to TV because I really like the interaction of the sound and the noise. I miss 2/3, or if not a third of the show because I don't understand that person who's speaking Chinese. I don't even need to know that they're Chinese. I don't care. It's a character in a show that is shooting a gun, making a money transaction, making me a fortune. I don't care if it's Arabic or Chinese or Indonesian or bloody South African. I don't give a shit. Colour, all that language, I don't care. I am an Australian person in an English-speaking country. My shows should be in English. I go to Holland, I would expect my shows to be in Dutch. All of it. If I go to China, I'd expect my shows to be in Chinese. And if I wanted to learn, if I wanted to live in China, I would. Let's say I want to live in Thailand. I want to go to Thailand. I want to live in Thailand. It is my job to learn Thai so that I can watch the Thai-made shows. I shouldn't go to the government and say, I'm English, I'm Australian, I've moved over to Thailand. I think I need to put some Australian content in your show and I want Australian-speaking people. Now, they may do that, but I don't think they should. I think you make a movie in America for the world's content, dub it, make it all in English for Australian and American and English people, English-speaking people. If they want it to go to the Chinese audience, dub it. Don't subtitle it because that's bloody horrible because you've got to read TV. And again, if you're blind, you don't get it. So dub it. It may cost you a little bit more. Yeah, you may lose a little bit more out of your money, but you won't be paying an actor to do it. You won't be paying an actor. You'll be paying an over voicer, so you don't need a face and beautiful person. You just need someone to read the part and dub the show. So it might cost you $100,000 to get someone to dub your show, and that's out of your profit. Guys, not rocket science. Dub your shows for the countries they're going to. If I write a book, I'm going to write a book. No, I'm not. Let's say I write a book, I'm going to call it, I don't give a shit. I don't give a rat's ass. And I write it in English because I'm English. and I sell it to China in English. It'll never sell. It just won't work. But I'm not going to put, if I'm talking about a Chinese person in my book, and this Chinese person said ABC, I'm not going to put that in my book in Chinese. I'm going to put it in English. My friend, I don't know the name of it, Lou Kim, said to me ABC. He said in Chinese XYZ. I'm not going to go, he said in Chinese, because my readers aren't going to bloody understand it. So I'm going to put it in English. So as a book process, we do it all in the language, and then we sell it to another country and we translate it to that language. See, no different with the entertainment industry of movies and all that sort of stuff. So I believe Hollywood/entertainment industry is going far too diverse and making it hard for people to, and they're excluding people in their diversity, which they're saying they're not. I want to see a real life male action hero. I want to see that. I don't want to see an action hero who's a subtitle to a female action hero who can't be an action hero because she's soft and weak. Fantasy, again, change that. If it's a fantasy show, go for it. I want to see men equally in these shows as the main lead character who's not stupid or who's not a sidekick. I don't believe women might have been secondary in shows in the past because generally speaking, they still are, and maybe that's unfair, but maybe it's real as well. So we need to bring some reality back into our entertainment industry. Anywho, that's it for me for the day. I've got more stuff to do. We're going up to Maryborough this afternoon. Our oldest boy is going to the other side of the country this afternoon, and he's got to do some things before he goes. So I've got to raise him out of his bed to get him to do some work. So keep in mind, I say this at the end of everyone, end of every session or every video, that 110 people are going to die today, and about 270 will be born. It's our responsibility to farewell those who are dying with dignity and honour and respect, and to welcome those new ones with peace and contentment. Let's try and do that. Thought of the week from my Thought of the Week guy: set the standard, don't follow it. Set the standard, don't follow it. Really good advice from my Thought of the Week guy. Anyway, enjoy your journey. Peace, love, and mung beans. Have an awesome weekend, and I hope that you do everything you need to do. See you guys. Enjoy.